Morning, welcome. It's a bit of a different view, isn't it? It's cold in here today. I can see my breath. Sorry, I was just answering a question. That water bottle's frozen. Heater's on. Just moved a couple of bits and bobs out. Still the aftermath of the oak doors. So there's bits and bobs all over the place that need tidying up. I am supposed to be clearing this today. That's one of the jobs, but we've got another little job in. Let's have a look. Let's try that again. We got rudely interrupted by a child with a gun. Never buy your children guns. So what have we got? We have a Trek cyclocross bike, not gravel bike, cyclocross bike. Carbon frame. Lovely bike, really light. Through axle front and back. Racing disc setup. Not sure what the width. I think the wheels are alloy. They aren't set up for tubeless, but they are tubeless capable. Don't think the carbon. Don't know. Difficult to tell. Yeah, needs a bit of a clean, I think. Yeah, she had a couple of offs at the weekend. So the cyclocross bike we had before that was an absolute wrecker, ridden to death. This is another one of her bikes. So the chain catcher needs shoving back over as well. That needs doing. That's been adjusted out of the way while she was racing. I think chain came off a couple of times. So there's a complaint about she thinks the derailleur might have got bent or knocked. So we're just going to get the once over, just check it's all right, line it back up again. It definitely looks a bit bent, but it might not be bent where she thinks it's bent. It might be that. Yeah, I think it's more likely it's that's bent rather than that. So we'll have a look at that and just see where we are with that. Just check it's switching through the gears well. We'll have to see where we go. And just give it a clean up. I'll give it a clean up before we start. Wouldn't normally bother, but it is that bad. And apparently it's had a clean once already. Lovely bike though. It's almost as light as my road bike. Cool, right, I'll bring you back when I'm ready. Forgot to mention there is the small matter of tidying all this lot up as well. It's everywhere. I was selling some mud guards to somebody because I bought some new ones and I don't need the old ones, and I've got some clips for it and I have no idea where the clips are. They're in here somewhere. It doesn't need them, they're just beauty clips. And most of the bikes they won't fit on anyway, but it would just be nice to hand over the whole thing. So somewhere in here, aren't they? They are around and I will have to find them, probably in that vicinity around here somewhere. We'll get it all sorted. Right, let's go clean the bike first before inside. I think it's an obligatory. Let's tidy up the workshop because we are in a bit of a mess. We're drowning in our own. Peekaboo. Right, where were we? Workshop's a little bit better. Just set you up and I've moved you all the way around. Now we've cleared a lot of stuff back. Put all the woodworking machinery at the back. Cleared everything back. Not hoovered the floor up yet. It's I've got some hoovers to mend, so I'll mend them. Amazon's been, so let's have a quick look at what Amazon's delivered to the lockdown workshop. We in view. Right, so first up, batteries. Yeah, what did I buy them for? Temperature sensors for the lake where we swim. Need some new batteries, so we bought some new batteries. Always buy Amazon Basics, because if I have any problems with them, I just phone Amazon and say these batteries are shite, and they just replace them, no quibbles at all. That's why you pay Amazon. Right, I don't care how long they last or anything, as long as they last. Or I buy Duracell or Energizer, but even the Energizer ones recently have been a bit shit. So I'm sticking to Amazon Basics, so they're branded products or whatever. What else have we got? Right, so you might have seen me beating the living crap out of something that's got stuck together and getting a hot spanner on it. Well, my hot spanner's died. Let me have a look if I can find a hot spanner. The hot spanner's on here somewhere. So this was the Mott's Knots when we bought it. There you go. Nice simple gas burner. Igniter at the front. The igniter's a bit hit and miss. It doesn't always fire. There is gas left in this, but it's just not starting. No matter what I do, I can hear gas coming out, but I cannot get it to light. It will, I can get it to light with a thing, but it just will not. No idea what's up with it at all, but it just will not. Doesn't matter what I do, shake it up, agitate the gas. Just not having it at all. So it's let us down. It's never let us down before. To be fair, I think we've had it about 30 years. I did the plumbing in our previous house with that, and we've been in this house about 24 years. So it's done 2 houses, quite a lot of work, many bonfires, many pieces of hot spannering work it has done. But it is time to out with the old, in with the new. So if you're a YouTube regular, you'll have seen most of the American YouTubers that do any kind of hot spannering have one of these kicking around. It's a MAP blowtorch, so it's just a brand of propane. I think it's got a slightly specific mix, but it's basically propane with a bit of something else in it. Okay, the gas is a little bit more expensive, but I think you get a bit more gas because these are rechargeable cylinders. I haven't really looked into it. I wasn't that bothered, to be honest. I just wanted something that worked. Now, the very reason I went for one of these is it's just ease of use. So all we have to do is, there you go, and we're on. Turn it off, and it's off. Fire, it's on. On, off, on, off, on, and that's it. You can just leave it like that all day long. When you've done at the end of the day, just shut the valve off, and it's pretty much just half a turn. You don't have to mess about with it. There's no tuning. It just works. If you're worried about the little kiddies getting hold of it, there is a cut-off. Right, so you just twist that and it pops up and that locks the thing. Same when it's in its free position. If you have it on and you want to work with your hands and leave it locked off, you just press that down, it locks it in. Press it, pops up, turns off again. Job's a good one. Got 2 gas cylinders for the price of 1 gas cylinder. Bought it through Amazon. Didn't buy them as a kit because if I got them with 2 gas cylinders and the torch, it was going to cost me £60–70. Whereas I got 2 gas cylinders for £11, and I only paid £30 for the torch itself. And this is a better torch than the torch they were selling in the kits. This is a lot better model. So it's a Firemaster 3 torch. If you're interested, all bought from Amazon UK, that is, but I'm pretty sure that they're thing. And these bottles are refillable, so there's a pressure valve in the top, so they are refillable. I don't think I can refill them, but you hand your bottle back and they give you another one, which means you can put more pressure in them, which means these bottles should last a lot longer. So 453 grams in that one. So if you look at them, they're about the same size, 350 grams in that. But what makes the difference is that's the weighting gas, right? But these can be a lot higher pressure. The tendency with these is they tend to run at a slightly lower pressure because they're thinner walled. Because they're at slightly lower pressure, they do have a tendency to freeze up. Sometimes they'll not burn as efficiently, and when you shake them, you get flaming and stuff. So these cylinders that are at a higher pressure generally perform better. That's my view anyway. Could be wrong. I've got it completely wrong, but we'll see. The flame certainly appears a lot stronger than the flame you're getting out of this. It was a bit. You could blow it and waft the flame. There's no way you're wafting that. That's quite a decent flame. Like I said, I've seen every YouTuber using MAP burners. So what else did we get? We got some mud guards, which have gone on the bike already. So bought some new mud guards for the orange road bike because I run my summer bikes in the winter. So I've just chucked some mud guards on. Because it's a UCI frame, obviously it's not got mud guard eyelets on. So it has to have special mud guards that clip onto the frame. You don't need to see them. And I decided to buy this. If you've watched any of the recent videos where I've been trying to solder stuff or fix turbos, I've been battling with the soldering iron. My soldering iron is about 35 years old. It's absolutely knackered. So I thought, right, time to invest in a decent soldering iron. And this popped up and it was fairly cheap. It's probably a significant amount of it is Chinesium. So we'll see how long it's going to last, but you got loads of goodies with it. And I was going to buy a new soldering iron. I was going to buy a soldering station. So one of them things with helping hands, and you can hold your wires together, and then all you've got to do is tap them with your soldering iron. But then this appeared on there, and I spotted this, and I thought, I like the look of that. I can't get that off. Why can't I get that off? Was that supposed to sit on there to protect it? I have absolutely no idea. Oh, I see. Right. That's just a heat shield to stop you burning yourself. So if I tighten that up and then pull that off, right, there we go. So that's the tip that's on it. It's got some finer point tips. I don't know if these sit in here. Camera's moaning about low battery, so I'll have to swap your battery out. You have got 20% left. I will keep an eye on you and I will give you a new battery shortly. So it's got a little dabbing pad, soak that with water. You can dab your thing to corner. It's got loads of spare tips in various different thicknesses. That's kind of what I had on the other one, kind of one of the big chunky things. What I was finding increasingly is I needed something like that, a lot more finer point. So I don't know if these are supposed to sit in here. They are now. And then the soldering iron goes in there, and it's a variable power one. And it's got an LED at the front. Now they claim it heats up in 6 minutes, which I would be, I'd be quite impressed if that's the case. But we'll see. Now the real selling point for this one was it actually came with a set helping hands. So I think these bolt into the side. Now the reason I plumped for this now is I've got a couple of things that need soldering back together. So oops. So that's going to go on there. Now there was another one where it had a. Oh no, this one's got it as well. Which is a soldering station. I couldn't remember which one I bought then. Well, that's never going to be seen again, is it? I don't even know what it is I'm looking for. Something like that. Anyway. There's an extra hole on this side, so that bolts on there, and then you've got a bar that sits through there, that sits on there, and then it's a bit bent. That screws onto the side. I think there's 1 or 2 screws or something, so you only need 1 screw anyway. Yeah, that screws onto the side there. I don't know why they've given you 2 screws. Can't see a second screw on. Yep, that goes on there. That goes in there. There's your helping hands. They hold your bits of wires together or your circuit boards. Soldering iron goes in there, nice and easy access. I can get it to sit in. There you go. That's it. Nice little station there for you to do your soldering with. I was more interested in just the having a fine point and a variable heat. So I'm quite pleased with that. And there's a whole list of all the different bits you can get, even though I've got all of them, but that's why there's loads more spots in there. You can put that in. Yeah, I don't know what that was that fell on the floor. It might not have been a screw. It might have been something else. Can't see it now. It's gone forever. I think it was a screw. Anyway, right, that's my little eBay purchases. I think we've got everything out of there. I might put it back in the box or I might not. Right, show and tell done. Let's get you a new battery. And I'll bring you back and we'll finish off. It was a screw. I've just found it. So we can... I don't know where it goes though. I don't know where it would go. No, that's where it goes. It goes on there. So I'll just screw that in. Anyway, don't know why it came with a spare screw. Maybe because it knew I was going to throw it across the floor as soon as I opened up the box. That's it. Right. can't get a reading. I think the batteries are flat. It says it's cold. Oh, bike should have drip dried a bit now. Before we go any further, just my own peace of mind, let's give it a quick hand check. God, how long are Jerry's legs? Right, so normal front bearings. Front tyres are a bit squishy. Still a bit of mud on them spokes I missed. Saw some of the pictures from the race. Spokes feel good, no sign of any bends there on any of them. Sound about even. No bearing play. Right. Little bit of head knock there. Just checking it's not movement from the I'll work out what it's on. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is the front. These bikes are so light; they're designed to take the shocks. Sometimes you can mistake a bit of headlock for something else. Incoming call, Lee. Right. Let me just stop. All right. Not sure where we got to last time. I think I had a rather shiny new cross-country bike in there. Can't remember what model it was. I think it was possibly a Trek. And we were just doing some early diagnosis on it. I think I've got it on the floor. I think headstock was a bit loose, but there was an undiagnosed problem with the rear derailleur kept flipping its chain off all the time, about 2 or 3 times during a race. And because it's got a catcher over the front cog there, made it really difficult to put back on. So as you can see, the bike has gone. So that was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I've been a bit ill since then, so I've not been down to the workshop at all. I've picked up a virus, not COVID, but something else that's going around, and it's really screwed all my breathing up. I'm still not fully rid of it now. My oxygen sats are really low, headaches, all that kind of crap. But you don't want to listen to all that shit. You just want to watch me take stuff to pieces. So in the meantime, as you can hear, still not good. Friend of mine fetched me around some timber so we could finish off putting the top piece where we made those doors for. I've still not papered those doors. They need doing as well, but they're ready to hang and just need the boards clipping in. That needs cutting down to size and cleaning up. It's a lovely piece of oak. It's already formed. I think that's the better side. We'll rip it down and try and pick something that's not got a bow in it, because there is a little bit of a bow in that. I'll probably go for this end of it there. I like that bit of timber better. It's got a few holes in it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Like I said, I think it's better on the other side. So we'll get that installed, but that's not for today. We have got to tidy up the workshop. All the machines have got to be listed. That piece of wood being ripped down is the last thing I will be doing. And then all this lot's going to go, with the exception of the table, with the exception of the pillar drill and this abomination here. I won't get much for it, but when that dies, that dies. It's just a standard DeWalt thing that I clip it onto anyway. We've got the rail, so it fits most things. So that won't be an issue. That'll be going. I've got to get that down. I have got some work to do in here with these cross timbers here. I've got to be taken out one at a time and then cut down and moved up. And I'm going to brace every single one of these about halfway up, all the way across. So the ceiling's a bit higher. And I've also got to work out if I'm going to put a Velux windows in here as well when we do this out. And the roof's got to be all insulated and then boarded out. So because I don't want the ceiling down at this level and avoid space up there, I'm going to insulate in between the rafters, and then we're going to plasterboard up there, and there will be a small cavity up there for running services and stuff on top of these beams, so there won't be much room up there at all, and we'll vault the ceiling. But like I said, I want some skylights in, possibly on the front as well, but they're going to have to go in below, so I need to find out what size those are. Too much information for what you care about today. We've got a backlog of crap in here that needs sorting out. There's a Dyson there that needs doing. There's another Dyson in the house that needs doing. What else have we got? There's piles of stuff everywhere that needs fixing. That's kind of been on the back burner. God, that stinks. We've got the heater on. It is 28th of December. So I was pretty much ill right the way up until Christmas. So I picked up the virus halfway through November. So I've had it for about 5 or 6 weeks now. The last 4 weeks have been pretty nasty. But we do need to tidy up in here a bit. And I've got to clean these down so I can take pictures, as I said. But anyway, right, today's challenge, seeing as we were on bikes and I don't want to disappoint you, we've got this one here to look at. So the chap that fetched me these, that's one of his new bikes he's bought. I don't think it was new to him. I think it's new to him, not brand new. I think it was an old sponsor's bike from Planet X that he bought off them. Really nice set of wheels as well. I do like them. I'm not entirely sure whether I think they are carbons. I like them anyway. Nice wheels. I'd have some of them because they're aluminium clinchers on a carbon rim, I think, which makes them really good. I think it is carbon, not aluminium. I'd need to have a look at that. I can't tell, to be honest. I mean, it could be that they're aluminium and they just sound funny because they are cold, but they're nice. They're a decent aero profile, and if they are carbon with an aluminium thing, it's kind of your best of both worlds there. You'll have to see how heavy they are, but no, that's pretty good. It's got a force bottom bracket in it as well. So that's the carbon bottom bracket. You know, it looks a bit like it's been through the wars, but these sponsors bikes, they don't look after them. But I mean, there's nothing to it. It's got the classic Planet X headset on it, which is one of the most ugly headsets you can buy. But anyway, I cannot remember what he said was wrong with it, so we're just going to give it a once over, and then I'll see what's wrong with it, and then I'll ask I'll ask Lee if he can remember what's up with it, and then we'll see how close we were to the mark. So I'll bring you back in a bit. Oh, and I forgot to mention as well, we have got the electricity man coming around to swap the meter out in the house. I know, random between Christmas. But we're on an old style meter and we've got solar. So we're supposed to be on one of these new smart meters. So hopefully I won't have to stop shooting because the power's gone out. But if we do, I do have a generator. I just don't appear to be able to see it at the moment. Now we've got a little jet down there. It's right down the back of there. We've got a little Whisper suitcase generator from the late 70s, early 80s. It's whether or not I've got any fuel in here, actually. There's a sniff in there. We'll have to go on a fuel hunt for that. I could probably just power a set of lights off it, and that's about it. I'll have to chuck it outside and run a lead in, so I do have some spotlights, so we could potentially keep filming. Right, Kyo. We're back. Sorry about that. I turned the camera on. It told me I needed a firmware upgrade. Right. Can you see what we're looking at there? Can we see everything? I think so. Right, so we'll start off with a basic end check. Front wheel bearings seem good. Don't feel any players there at all. Front brake's good. Head stock. It's interesting. A Planitex without head knock. Looks okay. Fitment's okay. Frame looks okay. Four blades look okay. A little bit of superficial damage down there. Wheels fine. Give the spokes a quick ring test. Yeah, all sound roughly the same. Moving across bottom bracket. Sounds good. So these are carbon fibres. There's no play in there. Feels smooth. As if the that's interesting. Very similar design on them to the. That looks fine. Bottom derailleur's moving. Right back up to the seat post. No signs there. Seat post nice and solid. Back brake. Yeah, no play there at all. Brake pads look okay. It's been a little bit of a knock there, just checking that I'm not hitting the brake pad. No, it was a brake pad. So that's fine. Quick release good. Pedals seem okay. That's good. No bearing issues. Any speeds within about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 speed. Back cable's absolutely mutilated. Let's take it down to have a look at that. So I don't know if you can see that, how well that shows up, but that brack cable is absolutely mutilated. I'd be surprised if that hasn't transferred through. I haven't tested the back brake function yet. Rest of the cables look fine. Front cable, yeah, that's okay. It's nicely tucked out of the way. That's mangled though, that. I think we'd do well to fix that. The problem is when they're like that is that weakness can transcend through the crimping. So they start to, 1 or 2 filaments will start to then weep through to the other side because they can't crush onto it as well. And then it starts by the bunching up on the other side of it, which I can't see because it's under there. Or it just starts to come loose and it slips and you've got no chance of doing anything with it while you're out on the road. It's a bit too short as well. I want to have left it that short. The only thing we haven't had a look at so far is the brakes, is the pedals. These look like Lukes, possibly. Yep, they are Lukes. Yeah, there's the usual Luke play in them. Look. That one does feel particularly bad, but I've given up with these things, to be honest, because I've had brand new ones come in on brand new bikes and they've had what I would consider way more play than they should have in them. So, we can actually hang out properly. So let's flip around. Dogs are going nuts, so we might be about to lose the power. Try not to disturb his sticker. The general rule of thumb seems to be with cyclists is you have to leave your sticker on until your next race. Or maybe it's not cyclists, maybe it's triathletes, but I generally rip them off straight away. I don't like the glue sticking, especially on these carbon bits. It's a fairly substantial ding in the frame there. Can't feel any deformation of the carbon fibre structure around it, so I think we're possibly going to be okay there. So that's me a little bit. I'll mention it to Lee. I can't feel it up there, but That is quite a substantial ding there. Anything that goes through to the base or takes the gel coat off, you've got to be really careful it hasn't actually damaged the structure behind it. And you can usually feel it. I think we might be about to lose power. Are we back? Lights are on. Right, before we lose power, I've got my plastic tripod right in front of the power. Right, can we zoom that in anymore? No, I think that's it. So let's have a look at these. Seems crispy enough. Starting to struggle now. All right, so we've got a bottom end issue. Right, so let's jump to. Yeah, that's. You can see it's clicking. Now, is it clicking because it's high or clicking because it's low? Clicking because it's high. I'll just try to pull it down. You can never remember which way round these go. Right, just knocked it down 2 notches. Right, next thing for me to look at is it riding on the stops? And that's why it's not going down any further. No, I can see daylight. They've that's got more to go. It's just not going down. So right, that's right at the bottom. Yeah, it's not going up. I think we've got a cable issue. And that's jump 2 now. Yeah, so that's not coming down. The cable's snagging. It could be that it's too high. Yeah, I think we've got a cable snagging. I think we've got a busted filament somewhere. It's either that or it's this. So it could be that it's this that's sticking, but it feels like that's moving okay. These SRAM 40s aren't normally finicky. Right, that's it. Still snagging. Right, I am concerned that that's turned a bit too low, but we haven't got down that far yet, so. Could be the adjuster's gone. No, the adjuster's moving. Just checking we haven't got a stiff link. Trying to see where it's winding up.
I've locked the dogs in the lawn.
Okay, is he here? Conclusion. We back, right? So the conclusion is it's definitely riding up on the gear here. So I do need to check that I've not got a bent tooth or anything stupid. I also need to check the chain, which I haven't done yet. So I'm sure all of you were screaming at your and about to go nuts on your keyboards to say, you don't check the chain. You always tell everybody off for not checking the chain. Nope, chain's good. He did say that it had a new chain before he bought it, so there's plenty of life left in that. The only thing I can't see is the cog to see if it's got a bent tooth. I think I'm going to need to take it off for that. The other thing I've checked as well is that actually the wheel is aligned in the frame properly, because that's often another problem, especially with these people who travel. So you just keep watching down there and see if this back wheel moves when I undo it. No. So that's good. What we will do now is we'll take that back wheel off and just check that cog before we go any further, because it could just be we've got a bent tooth on the cog and that's what's snagging it, but it still doesn't explain why it's not travelling up and down and it's starting to bind as it comes down. I think we'll get the back wheel off anyway. God, it's supposed to come out easy when it's on the bottom. Sorry, stuck my arm in front of you there. So let's have a quick spinneroonie. I'm going to have to hold it up, I can't see against the floor. No, that looks good. It's hacky and somebody's been putting that horrible sticky lube on, which I think you could probably see from the chain. If there is a split link in here, which there should be, I will... Let me stick the gadget in. Where's she gone? There she is. Let's back you off a bit and give me... Let dog seat rabbit. Sorry, I'm stood in front of you again. It's the wrong way round. Right, I'm not even sure that's the right way round. Right, let's got that in nice. Just have a look, see where the link is. If there is one, there should be one. It's an SRAM chain, I think. So there should be a, there it is, a removable link. Why can I never find my pot there? Right, we'll just pop this in, stick it in the bath for a wash, and then we can leave everything to soak because I think we're about to lose the power. Get myself a little tin and just pop this off. Right, we'll stick that in the the acid bath. While we're doing it, we'll get this off as well. Stick that in because that's absolutely acky. Try and do it before we lose power. Question is, what did I do with it? See the whip. Can't see the spine. I suspect it's in the other one. It's in the other box. Which I can't find. There we go. It's not in there, is it? No, I do need to get another one of these. Right, I'll just rest that in there. Yes, I know they're soft jaws. It's only just to rest it on rather than dropping it onto all that muck on the table. So like usual, grill, that goes in there. Nice, big, juicy. Come on, it's been awkward. That wasn't very tight at all. Oh, I've got a wifey phone in. Boom, back again. Right, we are about to lose the power. So as soon as we lose the power, we'll cut recording. Just chuck this in to into the soaker. Tempted to squirt a bit of degreaser on that anyway. What have we got? I thought we'd got some in here actually. Ah, there we go. I'm just giving it a good bit of a hand. I think this needs topping up, to be honest. Right, let that soak. Look in the bath. This desperately needs emptying and cleaning out. So just forget about that. Don't need to see that. Oh, and the power's off. Question is, can you still see? No, neither can I. Yay, power's back. Right, while you've been away, I've been cleaning some of the parts in the dark. There's nothing worse than cleaning bits in the winter. This water's freezing. Yeah, as I suspected earlier, somebody's been using sticky winter, horrible, stupid oil on this, and there's actually a ridge built up on most of the gears. So this is the first time I've ever had to use a scraper to actually break the ridge off, because I was struggling to scrape it off with my nails. And even after you scraped it, there's still quite a bit of residue on these. So just working my way through, cleaning all these off. I mean, this has got solvent on it. I'm really scrubbing it, and it's just not shifting it. And it's like a black paste. So, kids, I don't know how many times I need to tell you, don't keep using this stuff. It's a nightmare. It might not get washed off in the rain, but what it does do is it attracts all the grit and shit and everything, and it just acts like a cutting paste. So it does shorten the life of your components and your chain and everything else. So if you want to make them last longer, just keep regularly and cleaning and lubing your equipment in the winter. So after every ride, give it a good wipe down, get all the water and crap off, put your chain cleaner on it, so the little fancy gadget. If you haven't got one of them, just get a toothbrush and clean it all out. As you can see, I'm going to scrape this off. And then wipe it down again, and then re-lube it, and then wipe the lube off so you've not got excess lube on. And your chain should look sticky and black once it's been ridden, or sticky and clean once it's just been done. If it looks dry and black or satin, then you've either got this horrible sticky stuff on, or you've started to get a build-up of sludge in your lubrication, and that will not do it any good at all. These bomb gears shouldn't be that. No, they are. I was about to say they shouldn't be that bad, but they are. Thought they were cranked then. No, it's just a chain lift. Yep. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Nearly there. Last one. The chain's in a bit of a tacking. I've scrubbed it and sprayed it a couple of times now. I think I've given it some neat engine gunk, so I'm kind of hoping that's done the trick now. It appears to be a lot cleaner. So I was scrubbing at this and it just wasn't shifting it. Yeah, that's looking a lot better now. I'll chuck that over there as well. So this build-up of crud, it can actually stop your chain from dropping onto the cogs properly, and can cause them to flick up. I don't think that was the case in this one. I think what was happening was because the derailleur wasn't going down as far as it was supposed to, it was catching on the pickup tooth. So I mean, I shouldn't be able to scrub like this to get oil and muck off these. Anyway, there we go. Nice pile of bits over there. Right, back on the bike now. We've cleaned that up. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but one of the best ways to check if your bottom bracket is bad is to take the chain off and spin it. So you shouldn't be able to hear anything. Right, all I can hear there is just the dust seals. There's definitely no place. Sometimes it's difficult to hear if it's crunchy when you've got the chain going around the freewheel, but no, that feels smooth. I don't feel any ratcheting on it at all, which I've discovered the other day. It's called Boolean wear. It's where you get flat spots in the race and the ball bearings, and it's almost like it's detented. But no, that's spot on that. So what are we going to do now? We need to start stripping out this thing here. So I can have a proper look at this now. It's a bit higher up in the air. I can't see that we've got any loose windings in there, but it is. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Can you see that? There's your problem, lady, as Wes would say. It's a coated. It's a coated cable, and the coating's deteriorated and it's come off. So I would put money on that we've got a problem there with the coating in the line. So we're going to have to be really careful when we take this out. So the best thing I can do is just clip that there and then bring it out carefully. And given that this is a Planet X frame, hope for the best that the guides haven't gone missing. I'm not sure how this one feeds. I would guess, looking at it, that this is a fished system. So these inserts will come out, hopefully. It could be that it's not a fished system and that it's using... that doesn't look much better either. But we'll go with it. I think it's a fish system. These bits normally pop out, and it allows you to get access to the to fish it through. So we'll see how we go there. The easy way to do it is to actually break a bit off there, slide this back, and then use the cable to pull it back down. Sorry, we had visitors. Right, so there's a couple of ways of doing this. What I can do is cut that there, slide this, effectively just get myself a bit of play so that I've got enough room to pull the rear mech cable out of here and then cut it about there. And then what I can do is tie on to the end of the cable and fish it back down all the way through. But I'll be honest, it's a bit of a pain up the arse. The other way I can do it is I can pop all these out and pop there's a little access panel under there, pop that out of the way, and I can feed a fishing line over the top of the existing cable and then feed the other cable through it. That still is not always the easiest thing to do, but we might have a play with that one. It's not something I've tried before, but I have got the fishing lines now, so it's just a thin piece of inner. It's like the stuff they glue inside the cable for lines, but this is a free fish. If I slack a knot off, take that out of the bottom. But the problem is with that one is I'm going to have to disconnect this as well, because the access panel, which if I have a look at it down here, you'll see there's a screw there to take it out, but the other cable's running around it as well, so it means I've got to dislodge that, which I suspect I'm probably still going to have to do. I don't think I'll be able to run the fishing cable around there. Could be wrong. We can always have a bash at it and see what happens. Right, okay, that sounds like a plan. I don't see any point trying to save this. We know the inner's gone. So let's just crack on with it. Just cut. Right, so that's through. Should have freed up this one now. What I don't want is for that one to disappear too far. I don't want it to disappear more than into there. So what we can do is take that off altogether. There you can see that's chewed up. That feels okay there. But it's definitely chewed up. Right. This is where we find out whether I was right or not about how this is fished, because that's coming out. Come on. It's interesting. That's got like a bit on the bottom of that. So that goes in first, and then that. Oh, so there's actually a release tab for that. It's interesting to know. Right, so that goes in there. So I know that for the other ones. So I can potentially take that off now. It's somewhere safe. Ah, right, look, no, you can see. There's your problem, lady, as I suspected. Gone completely. So that will have been fouling it up inside there. And that's what's been causing it. So it gets caught on that step ridge there. And also that bunches up and gets stuck behind there. So yeah, we're definitely in a bit of a pickle. And they're my favourite SRAMs as well. So let's just get myself a bit more room. Kill that off there. See if we've got any more cable. Now I don't have SRAM cable, but I do have some I need to sort these out too. I have boxes of cable. Right, so we've got some SRAM cables, we've got some Clark's cables. Loads of Clark's blade cables. Right. Let's see what we have got. I think both of those are fronts. So I think we're going to have to use an Ultegra cable on it. Not too concerned. Pretty sure they won't fit. Not the. I do have some other gear cables that were Clark's that I could use. So they're 750. Just need to check the ends on them to check they are compatible, and these aren't using something stupid like Campag ends, but they shouldn't be. Now, I did some of these the other day and they were an absolute flipping nightmare to do. So I'm hoping these aren't going to be anywhere near as bad. Just fishing them through was just an absolute ball ache. What I've got to do is try and find out where they... I might have been on the internet again for these. There's a... Somewhere there's a feeder. Hole where you can feed it in. But the last ones I did were an absolute nightmare getting them in. Right, I think I've found the hole. I think we've cracked it. There's a little window down there because I cut these a little bit too short when I cut them. I just had to shove another piece of cable down there and just tease this up. It doesn't line up with the exit hole, which is why it's difficult to see it. I've had to put a head torch on to see it, but if you do slightly cock the gear, it brings it back into view again. So that comes out. Now this is the bad bit, because it effectively feeds from the bottom, whereas the other one, the Shimano's, feed in the top, and there's a hook that catches it and takes it over, whereas these feed from the bottom and then go all the way round a curve and back over. So you've got to effectively hit this tube on the other side, and if you don't hit it, it's an absolute nightmare. Now that felt really bad. Yeah, so there's another bit of broken stuff there that was catching. There's another bit there, and then we're off that bit at the end where it just snapped anyway. So I'm going to fish a new cable in there now through that bit. Except I don't know where I put my Shimano cables down. So just so I remember, £7.50 for that one. These are not cheap, but these are genuine Shimano ones. So okay, this is SRAM, but just to check the ends correct. Yeah, perfect match. So Shimano and are spot on. They're both the same, so they should fit. There's an argument that the Shimano ones are slightly better quality, if only because the Ultegra gears are really finicky about their gear cables. Right, got you as close as I can. Just fishing for the. Oh, there we go. We've got it. First time. Now, hopefully, this will feed all the way around. So I should pop out. Up. There. If you can see that. Got to be really careful you feed this in as well. There you go, we're out. There's a lot of drag on this. So these aren't plastic Teflon-y coated things. What they are is rolled flat, and the aluminium's polished and coated as well, but not. It's like a thin film, so I can feel it on my fingers, but it's not enough to cause any. There's nothing to come off the cable. That's fine. That moves nicely. Right. So the next thing to do is to pop this out and see if we can feed a. Isn't it so much easier when you know what you're doing? Feed a fishing cable over the top of it. So let's move that back out of the way. So here we have some fishing cable, complete with a lump of wire that we don't need. Now the other one actually does look like it's got a lump of cable on the inside of it. This one definitely doesn't. So the idea is now we try and feed this over the top, and hopefully it comes out at the bottom, and I don't have to undo the come on. Right, let's just have a quick squeak at what's going around under here. So what I've done is I've put that over the top of the cable that was sticking out, and I'm feeding it through, and then hopefully it's going to pop out down there. And it means I don't need to take that plastic cap off. There we go. Brilliant. Oh look, there's another piece gone there as well. There, you can see that. So we've got this fished all the way through to here now. What we might as well see if we can do is fish that all the way through to the other end now, and then that will just make life a lot quicker and easier than having to fish it through the tube, but it also means I'm going to take that off. So I'd call that a win, to be honest. So don't let go of it. Come on. Really don't want to let that go. Where did I put my hooks down? That's one of them. Where's the other one? Have to make do with this one. I've got another hook. Just don't want to damage the go to that side, wouldn't you? Not that side. There we go. Right, so we'll just pull a bit more of the blue through. Just keep, as we go one way, feed it back through the other way. I have to be careful because it will. There we go. All the way through. So we've got some inner. Now what it looks like on the other side is they've got a length of this already in the frame that goes all the way down there, out the bottom and up, which keeps that nicely protected. On this one, they don't have that, which I'm wondering why, to be honest. Or it could be somebody's changed the cable once before and it's already gone walkabouts, but I've seen no sign of it. These are clips. Looks the same on the other side, so I'm not really sure what's going on there, but we'll just play to what we see. So what I can do now is I can remove that. So that's the old cable gone. I did find some more bits that are gone on this. So yeah, it's gone there. Plastic's missing there. Plastic's gone there, look. That's completely gone, so that'll have been snagging up. It's gone there. What that's also doing is, particularly where it was there, that'll be dragging muck and dust and crap in with it as well, and that'll be working its way down. So all we need to do is just feed the other bit in. So if I don't know why it's this long, to be honest. It doesn't need to be this long. In fact, I'm going to kill it there. I'm going to take an executive decision to kill it there. At least I would do if I could find my cutters. You'll have to do. Just open up the end of it. What do we do with the cable? It's here. So that wants to go down there. Right. Do not forget to put on this bit, because you will be crying. Even though I don't appear to be able to get it to fit. Yeah, so if you forget to put that on, you're going to have to pull it all out again and start again. Feed, 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 feed. This is so much easier now to fish around that bottom bracket because they're a nightmare to feed through. There you go, cable's out the other end. So we can... So the cable's in there now. That end's waiting to clip in. Just check I've got it the right way around. Yep. That goes all the way through, around the bottom bracket, out through the top, and you can see it's up to there. So I can now la-da! How easy was that? So, hold on. I'm having a lot of sows again today. All I need to do is just tuck that in there. Right, that goes in first. That goes in afterwards. Just check the function's okay. It feels okay. So again, don't forget to put the end on. Sorry, the camera died, so I don't know what you missed there. I came to fit this and realised it had got an end on it, and there's an end jammed in there already. So I realised I'd picked up the wrong one. Couldn't find this anywhere. I'd put the brake cable bucket down on top of it, so this is the right one. This says SRAM. It's exactly the same length as the one I took off. So it wouldn't have mattered if we hadn't found it anyway. I've just checked it the same way as I checked the other one. I don't know if you saw me do that on before the video died. So that's in good and tight. All we've got to do now is just whip that out of there. So that's a 5mm. I think it's a 5mm. Let's check I know which way the routing's going. So the routing's going over the top. Oh yeah, it's one of them where it feeds over the top of that. Right, so it feeds over that and then it goes over the top of that bit. I'll just check that because it won't be the first time I followed what was done before and then realised afterwards that that was actually wrong. So you'd normally see some kind of groove. Not convinced. I think it goes like that, to be honest. Which would make more sense. It'd put it under a lot less stress if it went under there. And it doesn't matter that you turn it against the because there's nowhere else for it to go. Right, let's just see how it moves. Right. Pretty sure I saw that thing dive in when I first cranked it, so it's probably slipped an index. So we'll just take that slop up. Yeah, not too bothered. Not too bothered about how much slop we take up, to be honest. See if that's any better. Right, we might want to slacken that off a bit. I think that's okay now. All we need to do is put the wheel back together, chuck the chain back on, and job's a good one. Are we back? Right, just tidied up my brakes and gears and things. They were in a bit of a mess. I'm just going to hang this chain out of the way so it doesn't end up on the floor. Let's rebuild this wheel. So while the power is off, I did give this a wipe down and a clean out. So I'll just stick it back in there for no other reason than it makes life easier for me. Flip that over. Big one first. There's the index. So we're looking for one of these that's bigger than all the others. It's exactly the same as the Shimano system, even though they are slightly different. They use the same hubs. Does that one need a spacer? Yep, it does. Spacer. As with the Shimanos, you can only put these on one way round. They will not let you put them on the wrong way round. But it's the same as the other ones, it's numbers to the outside. Just the edge to keep spinning it. Don't forget to put the spacers on like I did last time. More before we're on to the ones without spacers. I definitely do not like the way that they do the indexing teeth on these, on the Shimano, on the SRMs compared to the Shimanos. They look way too shallow. And I have seen instances where these have actually eaten into the hub and meant I've had to replace the hub. So there's definitely, for some reason, they've just overcomplicated it. So those teeth are fine, you know, they are exactly how they should be. But the other teeth seem to have these tiny little teeth, and then it just seems as you are really tempting fate with it. Where's it gone? Drop that down. Just feed it backwards until we feel the tooth drop in. Hand tighten it. Find my whip and my torque wrench. 40 Newton meters, I think we'll do it. Does it say? 40 Newton meters, there we go. It's always 40 Newton meters. Don't do foot pounds. So that's 4 kilogram meters, because he times it by 10 for gravity. Well, it's 9.8 something. So I'm just going to nip it up a little bit with my hand, and then when I find my chain whip, there we go. So you will see a lot of people do this, and I'm sure the comments below will say, it's okay, you can just do this against the ratchet. You can do it against the ratchet, but the ratchet are only tiny teeth designed to go against the force that your legs can put in here. And that's there we go. So I'm supporting it with that, so I'm not resting on the teeth. Just check everything's in line. We've got gaps. We've got gaps. Stick the skewer back in. Just check all the springs are there, because it won't be the first time. Springs backwards, springs missing, 2 springs on one side, none on the other. We've had it all. Come on then, you might as well watch me struggle, because this is the worst part. Try to put one of these on. Take the gadge out. If I'm still convinced the gadge is in the wrong way round. It's a bit easier without the chain in, I have to admit. Out of the way. Deploy the leg. That's it. Bearings sound good. Another opportunity for you to check your bearings. I'm just going to get a cloth and give these a quick wipe out, because it's easier to do them now than when the chain's on, because these of course are also covered with that disgusting grease. And it will also cause your chain not to run on these properly as well. Of course, because of the way Shimano do it, there's only one place you can actually get into it on this side. I think these are a bit easier to do. That's a bit better. We'll give them a quick run over once we get the there's a few dog hairs stuck in these as well, so I suspect this has been on the turbo indoors and it's picked up some of the dog hairs from Holly or Bramble. There you go, Holly and Bramble have had a mention on YouTube. Right, let's stick that chain on. Just have a quick look at this. Is there a direction of flow on this? Usually a rule of thumb right into the outside, or there's an arrow that tells you which one, or if there's nothing, you can assume it's safe to go either way. I can't see anything. No arrows that say direction of travel, so it's a universal chain. So we should be feeding from the bottom. So we'll just chuck that over. So that's helpful. Right. I hate this bit. I've tried every possible way to do this, and you do know what? It doesn't matter which way around you do it. There's always one bit that's difficult. Right. Let's get these back together. It's like these. I could use a chain connection clip helper, but do you know what? Just put it on the 2 smallest gears, front and back, and just wang it together with your hands. That's usually your best bet. That's it, they're in. All I need to do is pop that apart now. Except I've lost it. Where's it gone? It's there. with me. There we go. Right, now for the fine tuning. First though, clean. Let's see how close we got it. Right. Needs some adjustment. Oops, sorry, moved you. Right, so taken all the play out of that, and I've dropped this screw down until we're not getting that index in. So the screw was slightly too high, which is what I suspected. But it didn't explain why it was getting stuck halfway up and halfway down. So that's okay. So what I'm going to do now is just take the slack out. We're going. Right, camera died again. I was just saying, we've adjusted this back out. It's now where it should be roughly. So I've just taken some of the slack out of that. Just check we've got the right pickup. Right, might have taken too much out now. Ooh. He thinks that top one wants adjusting. That's a bit naughty. Oh, we've adjusted the wrong one. Brilliant. Right. Let's wind this back down again. Oh, that's a lot better now. Right, just checking on the big ring now. Right. Indexing slightly high, so the derailleur is slightly pulled back. Need to bring it back a bit. That should do it. Yeah, it's just a lot more crisp. Oops, missed in the gears again. That's user operator, not gear problem there. It's me not pressing it hard enough and it's doing a downshift instead of an upshift. So we'll call that a win. So, what do we know? Oh, now that was the stuff that was inside my switch cable. Now, let's put back in again. And I find out where I fixed it. No. It's going to pop out soon. No. Oh, you're still there. I turned you off. So what do we know? I don't know if you can see that. Look at it. Yeah, you can see there's bits all over. That's come off. and it's like that all the way along, about 5 or 6 spaces. So that's what caused that one then. We just need to nip that off and stick a bubble on the end. I need to order some more of these. I'm down to my last 100. So what are we going to do? So leave a little bit more on than was on before. There we go. Shove that on there. These I think these are possibly brake cable ones, or they are gear ones, but they just happen to fit brake cables as well. So just bend that back down there, out of the way, and that's it. Job's a good one. One last quick spin. Gear doctor's bin again. There we go. Boom. Sorted. Cleaned up the frame a little bit. Could do with a chain saver on there. I haven't got any spare at the moment, otherwise I'd have chucked in one on. Put the brakes back down again. It all looks good. Got all that horrible stinking crap off there. We've got a low battery light, that's good timing. I want to put a spot of oil on, so you can see exactly what you do to oil it. Let it run it round a couple of times. Once you're happy it's lubed up, just get your rag, just take off the excess. There we go. While we're in there, we'll just finish off cleaning these up, because we didn't get a very good job of it last time. That even sounds better with the gears running. Right, I think we're happy with that. Well, no, I am anyway. Right, let's give us the close down video before we run out of battery, because it said I've hardly got any time left at all. Another one to go back. It's taken us quite a long time, so we'll apologise, because I've had this for nearly 4 or 5 weeks while I've been ill. I want that turn off, that's better. But we finally got around to it. We've fixed it. I'm actually feeling all right out here. The air quality is a bit better, even though it is a bit cold. So what was up with it then? A few things. The main issue why it was inconsistently shifting was, as I'd said when it first arrived, which I do recall saying now, is that there will probably be a broken wire somewhere or something fouling it between there and the handlebars there, which is, you always get that when you get inconsistent shifting. So it's either a build-up of crap in here, a cable's fragmented off, or it's broken in the, it's broken off in the, as it turns the tight corner in there. Shimano's are slightly worse for that than SRAMs, but I haven't got enough experience with the SRAMs to have seen enough of them. The SRAMs are harder to thread the cable because it has to go around a tight curve, but that curve is less than the curve on a Shimano when the Shimano does pick it up. So the path through there is a less steep curve, but as soon as the pickup hooks take hold of the gear cable and start taking it around the indexing mechanism, that is a lot tighter than that. But this is already on the indexing mechanism and the wheel's bigger in those, so I suspect that's why they are, I would guess, I've got no evidence, but I would guess these are less prone to breaking off in the things. I've had probably 6, 7, 8 of them to do. Out of all the ones that have had to have gear cables, it's nearly always with the, sorry, I'm just trying to get these covers back on. It's nearly always with the Shimano's that it's the, I would say 80% of the time it breaks in there rather than anywhere else. and that's just it. With these SRAMs, it's nearly always something snagging it on the run through. So that's the first time I've seen that substantial, where the coating's actually peeled back in several places and actually fouled it up. So that was the main thing. The other thing that was wrong with it, it was indexed. The bottom stop was too high as well, so it was stopping it from getting into the bottom gear. So I did think he said it won't go into the bottom gear at all, but the other gears missed and clonked. So would it have gone into the bottom gear if it wasn't snagging? Because by the time you get down to there, there's not much spring tension left on this, so you're relying on quite a lot to get it into that bottom gear, so it has to be quite smooth running. So if there is anything snagging on the cable, there's not enough force left within the spring to be able to pull against any snagging on the cable. So, but having said that though, it was probably set too far that way and needed adjusting. What I did adjust was the wrong one, so I actually took it off the top adjuster because I wasn't reading the low and high properly. And I did have it so it was just glancing the spokes. So I had to adjust that back down. I didn't check the top, so it could have been the top was out anyway, and I just made it a little bit worse, but it is adjusted to where it needed to be now. So I think that's a good one. We can send this one on its way and wait till the next one's in, or like I said at the beginning, or the middle of the beginning or whatever, I have got a lot of these machines to clean up and get ready to ship out. Why is that still on? Right, I must have turned the thing on. We've got a few bits and bobs that need to be done as well. There's those BMXs need stripping down, and I've got to decide what I'm going to do with them, and then decide if I'm sending them on their way or if I'm going to keep one of them. Undecided. I've got a bit of work to do on my bike as well, and sort out the pedals, though I'm thinking about getting some power pedals for it anyway. So that might fix the problem, because I think the problem's now in the hub on those. But no, nice bike. I do like these. I can't remember which one is it. The EC something or other. Yeah, it is EC13. So I do like these. They're quite nice. I nearly bought one of these, or the previous model one of these, instead of the very first Holsworth. So interesting. Nice geometry on the frame. I would say this bike's probably a size too small for him, but he's like me. He likes to ride a more compact frame, so you can sling it around. That bike would fit me, to be honest. So if he ever wants to sell it, I might make him an offer for it, though probably not after I've seen that lump missing out of that top tube. But anyway, right. What the? That's okay. Thought we'd get a lump hanging off. Usual thing. I've given up begging people to like and subscribe. You'll like and subscribe if you want. What I do want to see though is put some comments down below if you like this material. If you want to ask any questions about why I do things the way I do them, because I don't often do them by the book, but I do them the way I've always done them. And sometimes it's easier to do it that way. Sometimes it's because I haven't got the same tools that the book says you should have. So with a lot of these things, they start talking about putting straight edges on here. I know from looking at it that I can tell it's 1/2 mil out of line, and that's what you're looking for without having to put the straight edge on it. I've done a few of these. I'm not a shit hot with the SRAMs. Shimano's, I can do them with my eyes closed. So that way I've had to readjust that a couple of times. I wouldn't have to do that with a Shimano. The thing would be bolted on and it would be perfect first time. Maybe a quarter turn adjustment, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, I'm waffling and I'm running out of battery. So probably the next video will be in the new year, 2023. So I'll have to start thinking about if we're going to do anything different. We are coming out of here at some point. I might be doing some bike stuff in here, but this is going to get fitted out into a kind of a place where I can do bike fits. I've got some gym equipment in here. I've got a running machine and the turbo trainers and that. I really need to come out of the house. It's not a good environment for. Sorry, battery died as I said it was going to. I was just saying, it's not a good environment to be me training in the house. It'd be a lot better training out here. So this will get fitted out. When I eventually get around to taking the coaching practice a bit more seriously, this can be a consulting room. I can test people's fitness. I can do bike fits on here. I can do some basic yoga and stuff in here. It's quite a decent sized space. I mean, it's bigger than it looks actually. When it's empty, you realise how big this space is. But it was designed to be a 1-bedroom studio apartment with a sleeping living room area, bathroom in the corner, kitchen area over there, probably something there where the TV and everything will go there, settee across there, and then you can put the running machine and the bikes and stuff over there, and a desk over there for me to work at, because I want to get out of the house as well. I work from home mainly. I'm an IT director for a large outsourcing company, and I mainly work from home and have done for the last 12 years, and I'm in a house study that was never designed to be lived in, so it's probably 1/10 of the size of this. You can just about, it's got a desk in it, and it's got a unit behind the desk, and it's got a window the same as that in it, and it's a bit depressing after a while. So it'd be nice to get out to here. You know, you can open the doors. I'm going to worry about dogs barking or escaping, just chickens bloody running in. You know, so it'd be just a lot nicer if I move in here. The main body of the dirty workshop's going to move up to the annex, which is the other workshop, which I've done a few videos from. That's sort of in the process of getting done out, but we've got to sort the floor out first. Once the floor's sorted, then we can start shifting machinery up there. So the idea is all this stuff I'm selling is going to go up there so people can see it running up there and just take it straight out. And I've already done all the pain of getting it up there. So if anything breaks in transit, I haven't already sold it to somebody, and they can just take it out of the other workshop straight into the back of their van or whatever. It's not my problem, it's their problem. Anyway, right. Job's a good one. Thank you for watching. Hope you found it interesting. And as I said, comments down below. And if you don't like something, I'll try and adjust it. If you like what I'm doing, or you want to see more of something like that, I'll do it. I only do this because I find it amusing and interesting. I could just crack on with this lot and listen to the radio, but I do genuinely find it more interesting to do it as a production and talk through why I'm doing it, because often while I'm talking it through, I realise that there's better ways to do it. As with most things, if you say it out loud, you realise that it's stupid or there's a better way of doing it. So anyway, that's just my view. And I'll see you again on the next video. Bye.